What's up, everybody? It's your favorite hood healer. It's your favorite hood priestess. It's your favorite motivational dominatrix. It's your favorite auntie, captain, goddess, king, LadySpeech in the place to be. And I want to welcome you back to this here channel. You could be anywhere in the world. As a matter of fact, you are somewhere in the world. You are somewhere on this mighty planet doing something. And you're also sharing a little time and space with me. So thank you for that. Thank you for coming into my world. I appreciate that. If you're feeling this, if you're feeling me, if you like what I'm doing, if you like what you see, go ahead. You know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notifications bell, and we can just keep doing this over and over and over and over, over and over and over and over again. Anytime you want, anytime you press play. So let's get into it. Okay. So as you can see, we're going to get into it today. Today's subject is pretty heavy. You know I've already covered this before. I'm going to cover it again. I'm going to come at this from many different angles. It's a subject that means a lot to me. So I'm going to consistently put my 2 cents in on it. However, I got a lot of things to do today. So this video is going to be a vlog style video. We're going to talk, we're going to say all the things while we do all the things. You're going to go with me as I drop off some donations. You're going to go with me as I pick up some offerings for the spirits that I serve, some of the spirits that I serve, and you're gonna come with me as I also pick up something for my self-care practice, okay? And I'm going to offer you some tips and some tricks that I have learned over the years, through experience, and I have observed, I have just, picked up. So I want to help me help you by looking at this video, and you also help me by doing that, because you're throwing me your support. So let's get all the way into it. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go. And just like that, we back like we never left. Hello. Hello. So we're gonna get into it. As you can see from the title, it's the doozy, it's serious. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of it all, okay? First and foremost, before we get into the depthness, or actually it is not before we get, this is deep too, so let's just roll. The first thing I do want to say is this. There are so many people who possess power, who possess knowledge, who possess skill, who are attached to, who have an affinity for the occult. There are so many powerful, knowledgeable, magical people on this planet. But not everyone is meant to be your teacher. Not everybody is meant to be a leader. Not everybody is meant to pass on this knowledge in the way of mentor to mentee, okay? So that's the first thing that I want to say. That's the first thing I want to say. So if you are a budding witch, occultist, spiritualist, priest, becoming priestess in training, know that like your power is valid, but you aren't always meant to be the teacher. Sometimes you are just supposed to be the practitioner. Sometimes you're just supposed to be the neighborhood witch. Sometimes you're just supposed to be the neighborhood shaman. Sometimes you're just supposed to be the neighborhood medicine man, okay? So it's not for you. It's not for everybody to have a congregation. It's not for everybody to lead an Ile or a temple. It's not for everyone to stand in leadership positions over others, okay? There are those of us who are to stand in leadership positions for ourselves and ourselves only as sovereign beings. And by doing this, we actually stand in leadership positions for our lineage, for our ancestors, for our spiritual team, okay? And as that is true for us, it's also true for others. Just because you meet a very powerful person who knows a lot and they might have passed on a tidbit of knowledge or given you a good message, it doesn't mean that they are always to be your teacher or a good teacher or a teacher in the mass sense, all right? So keep those things in mind, and I want you to just keep those things in mind as you go through your spiritual journey. There's going to be times when you meet people and you are supposed to practice with them. There's going to be times when you meet people and they come into your life to give you something to aspire to, like, oh my goodness, I could get to this level. There are some people who come into your life who are meant to pass on a lesson or two, and then there's some people who are gonna be your gurus, gonna be your guides forever. They're gonna be your guides for a season, or they're gonna be your gurus, your teachers for a reason. So that's that part of it. That's that part of it. The first official tip and trick that I really want to talk about and get into today is beware of the guru and guide that is only focused on the harvesting and the collecting of souls, spirits, and people, and they're not really connected to, and they're not really focused on the planting, the growth, and the cultivation of their congregation, of the people that they lead, of their ile, their temple, their soyasete. Beware of those type of leaders, because that'll get you in some trouble. What do I mean by that? I have found that in my practice, in my observation, in my practice, in my experience, that teachers, that gurus, that guides that are only and exclusively focused on growth and focused on the collecting and harvesting of people, oftentimes create and harvest or create situations in their congregations, within their group of students that they lead, within their temples, where behaviors get out of control, where people's needs aren't attended to, where people, it creates situations where people can easily be taken advantage of, easily be hurt, okay? What do I mean by the collecting and harvesting of souls? Most people who get into this, well, and from my experience, come from a good heart and come from a good place. And a lot of us who, it's a very human thing. When you get a hold of something good in your life, you want to share it. When you get a hold of something that has transformed your life, if you've gotten a hold of something that, elevates your life or heals you, it's a very natural thing to want to share it, to want to give it to as many people as possible and to help as many people as possible with it. That's a very natural thing, and nothing absolutely wrong with that, okay? A lot of times I've commented in other videos about this subject that you need to be aware that we are bringing, all of us, including the teachers, the gurus, the guides, are bringing our colonialism. We're bringing our messed up parts. We're bringing our mentally ill parts. We're bringing our very human parts that have been affected by humanity. These very human things that have affected us in a very deep, way. So sometimes we're going to act out of these things, okay? Sometimes we're going to act out of these things. Part of what we bring over a lot of times into indigenous or reclaimed, spiritualities is this colonial mindset of we need to conquer, we need to spread this to as many people as possible. And that idea is very dangerous because indigenous spirituality oftentimes acknowledges the nuances, it acknowledges the individuality, it acknowledges the individual circumstance of people. Not everything is for everybody, okay? Not everything is for everybody. So when you get with a leader who is too focused on collecting people, they're trying to initiate as many people as they can. They're trying to spread this as far as they can. They're trying to harvest from these people, from this congregation that they are collecting, harvesting money, harvesting power, harvesting livelihood, harvesting energy. There's lots of people from the Christian perspective, the Wiccan perspective, the Ifa perspective, the Eastern, religious perspective, from Buddhism, Hindu, there's people who do this in all types of religions, all types of spiritual spaces. But when you get a teacher who's more focused on that, the collecting of people and the harvesting of their people's energy, and they're not focusing on planting people within their spirituality and growing them and cultivating them, when they're not interested in actually cultivating the energy of the congregation, of the garden, the spiritual garden they have created, you will find that a lot of problems will arise. So be aware of that. Be aware of, leaders who are only or exclusively or put a lot of focus in on just collecting people. When you are seeking a guru, when you're seeking a guide, definitely if they have something good, it is okay if they want to spread it, if they want to be available to get this message out to as many people as possible. But you want to be aware of those fanatical people, and you want to be aware of those people who only are focused on that, and they're not focused on the development of their self. They're not focused on the growth and the development of the people they're spreading this message to. They're not focused on, especially when they're putting themselves in the position of I am your teacher, guru, and guide, okay? If they're not concerned, with that, with your personal growth, beware of that, because that is where a lot of issues can arise, within, those situations. So yeah, that was my first tip and trick. It is warm as all get out here. Shout out to global warming. This is so weird. It is the end of January, y'all. What is today? Today is, it's like the 28th, I believe. I think today's like the 28th or the 29th. Like my phone's somewhere. But Colorado is notorious for being snowy and super cold. January, February, and it is dang near hot. Okay, so let me get to these errands so that I can get back and be prepared for this panel that I'm going to speak on tonight. So I'll see you in the next part of the video. Mwah! What's up, everybody? And I'm back. So I just got done donating what I needed to donate, and I feel really good about that. And on my way to donating, I was actually going to go to a whole other place that my intellect chose, and then en route to that place, I figured out, Spirit tapped me on the shoulder and was like, no, go to this place to donate. And I did that, and because I did that, I ended up scoring this amazing picture. She looks like Nina Simone to me, and she also reminds me of a print of another artist that I've seen before. So I don't know if this is it. I'm going to, the print is all out of alignment in this picture, so I'm gonna get that right when I get home. But however, I scored this for $5.99, so that is amazing. And then for my self-care, what I was able to do for myself, what I wanted to do for myself was get me, this is called the mother-in-law plant, or the snake plant. So I've wanted one of these for a while, and I am stepping up my plant game. And so this is part of my self-care. I'm going to be taking care of my plants this weekend, but also I wanted to get myself a new plant in the name of my self-care. So I got that. I got my snake plant and all that good stuff, as well as I went to another store and picked myself up a couple of new masks. And I ended up finding a mug, a coffee mug that had Marsha P. Nelson on it. So every morning I like to offer my ancestors coffee. There's a couple of ancestors, actually, a couple of ancestors that really enjoy coffee. I don't drink coffee, I drink tea. And so they have requested that I give them coffee every day, fresh coffee. So I've been doing that, and I saw this mug from Marsha P. Nelson with her face on it, and I wanted to get that. As you guys know, I'm pansexual, so Marsha P. Nelson is one of our beloved trans activists, black trans women, black women, you know, who fought for queer rights, who fought for black, you know, indigenous, all queer rights in America. And she was integral to the gay rights movement in this country, in America. So I found that mug and I was like, you know what, that's appropriate. I'm going to use that mug to offer coffee to my ancestors every day. I already do this, but you know, Marsha P. Nelson is a part of my queer, part of my gay, part of my pansexual ancestry, my collective village ancestry in regards to who I'm connected to in America. So I thought that was rather appropriate. So I grabbed that. I'm not gonna like show you that mug in this video because it's all packed up and nicely tucked away, so I don't want to risk like breaking that. I might show you that in another video. So let's get into the next part of this video, the next tip and trick when it comes to choosing the right guru, guide, and teacher for you in the spiritual realm. Let's talk about bad business practices. So, when you are choosing a good guru, guide, spiritual leader, something to take note of is if their business practices aren't on the up and up. It's important to take note of if your spiritual leader, if your guru and guide has bad business practices. This doesn't mean that they are necessarily not powerful, that they are not connected in the esoteric space, but bad business practices could be an indication of bad leadership qualities, okay? So, let me break this down. It costs to advance yourself spiritually. You're gonna need access to books, and books cost. You're gonna need access to tools and resources, and tools and resources cost. You're gonna need access to spaces, and spaces cost, okay? Spirituality does have a cost that comes to it. So, the benefit of spirituality having a cost. Number one, when I exchange something that matters to me for esoteric learning, or for the advancement of my skill set, or for the advancement of my intellectual capabilities, when I exchange money, or when I exchange resources that mean something to me for that, what I tend to do is I end up valuing what I have paid for at a greater capacity. Okay, that's a very human thing. That's a very human thing. What I want to also spotlight is your teachers, your gurus, and your guides have paid for initiations. They have paid for access to teachers. They have paid for books. They have paid for experiences. They have paid for these things, not only monetarily, but also with their time, with their flesh, with their blood, with their mental capability. They've paid for these things. So you should honor your gurus and guides with a financial tribute in some shape, form, or capacity, because these people have dedicated their lives to their spiritual practice. And not only have they dedicated their lives, but they have, number one, taken responsibility for their personal life, and hopefully they have paid for that, and made sure that their bills are paid and paid for their regular humanity. But also they have to pay for all this extra stuff when it comes to accessing esoteric and occult knowledge. Okay, so money is a part of this. Money is a part of this. Currency is a part of this. Currency is a part of this. Beware of the guru, of the guide, of the spiritual leader who has really bad business practices. Beware of the spiritual guru, guide, teacher that isn't, that has bad business practices. These things cost money. These things cost resources. And spiritual guides and gurus who are leading flocks and congregations are going to have, or come to understand and cultivate an understanding of what it takes to financially support a congregation, a soyaset, an ile. And they're going to make arrangements so that these congregations, that these spiritual houses that they form are supported. Not every spiritual guide and guru is a good business person, and that's okay. A good spiritual guide and guru who is running a house where people are contributing financial support to, emotional support to, they're going to recognize what their weaknesses and deficiencies are, and they're going to employ other people who are better in the spaces that they are weak, or they are going to call students and apprentices to them that have a better skill set and knowledge set where they are weak, or they're going to in some way, shape, or form address this so that their spiritual house, their congregation isn't burdened by the cost it takes to spiritually sustain a house. Beware of spiritual gurus and guides who collect and harvest people's energy in order to fund a lifestyle, in order to pay their own bills. It's a very delicate dance. It's a very delicate line to walk. Your spiritual gurus and guides, your teachers who are about their weight, who are true and good, deserve to be paid. They deserve to have their livelihoods supported and uplifted, because we dedicate so much time to being good teachers, to being good gurus, to being good guides. And our students should pay tribute and pay into receiving from us. We give you an education. We give you spiritual counsel. We give you knowledge. We advance you. So this should be given back to. This should be paid into. It should be. And it should be honored. That knowledge exchange should be honored. It should be honored. However, a lot of us encounter spiritual gurus and guides who are super powerful and amazing and dope and knowledgeable. However, they are bad when it comes to managing their money. They are bad when it comes to decolonizing themselves around poverty mentality. They are bad when it comes to really decolonizing around currency. And because of that, they're not good with money. They're not good with that. And so I have witnessed and seen a lot of soya sets, ilays, spiritual houses corrupted because money is important and daily life is important, and paying these electric bills and house bills and cars bills are important. And then that gets prioritized over spiritual growth. So what I have learned is teachers, gurus and guides who operate houses, congregations, ilays, who operate mentor-mentee programs, are able to do so, and they're able to require or set a standard where financial reciprocity is acknowledged and cultivated, but also they're able to cultivate a space where they're not financially exploiting anyone. When you encounter a teacher who is powerful and amazing and beautiful in all these forms, but they have not addressed financial healing, they haven't addressed attachment to poverty mentality, they haven't addressed especially, they haven't addressed like their connection to colonialism in regards to you know, farming bodies and like harvesting people's talents and skills in order to uplift themselves, lots of trouble can exist. Okay, so bad business practices. Look into the business practices of your spiritual guru and guide. If they have a lot of complaints around their business practices, if they have a lot of financial troubles, this could be, not always, but this could be an indication that they are not the right guru, guide, teacher, spiritual counsel for you. All right, so with that being said, I want to talk about this. When it comes to initiation and things of that nature, these things cost money. When you participate in an African traditional religion, when you participate in a religion that requires an initiation, oftentimes money is involved. Money is involved in regards to traveling to ancient lands in order to participate in these rituals and ceremonies with people who are connected to those lands and who that's where they exist. Expenses often come in if animals are sacrificed or if resources are needed, particular resources are needed from that land. So it's not a scam, it's not a messed up occurrence when money is associated with spirituality. That's not a messed up thing. That's not an indication that the spirituality is necessarily a bad thing or it's an off thing. However, there are people who take it to the extreme. There are people who don't decolonize around money and money practices. There are people who end up coming into spirituality to teach and to spread this knowledge from a very pure perspective, but because healing hasn't happened in their money space, because healing hasn't happened and decolonization hasn't happened with their spirituality, they end up becoming very capitalistic, very greedy within this practice. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. And as you can, avoid that. All right? Let's move on. Let's move on. Hey everybody, so I'm back from the store where I just got done getting all the offerings that I need for today. So number one, I got the offerings for the deity, my mother spirit that governs me, one of the mother spirits that governs me. So I got her offerings. And I also, what you just saw was flowers for myself. So this is flowers and offering. These flowers are offerings for my younger self. These flowers and offerings are for my future self. And these flowers and offerings are for my present self. So just like I like to honor the deities, my spirit guides, my ancestors, I also like to honor myself as well. So, because I'm a future ancestor in training. Hello, goodbye. Hello, goodbye. All right, all right, all right. So let's get into this next tip and trick when it comes to choosing a proper spiritual guru, spiritual guide, spiritual leader, spiritual teacher. Beware of the teacher who wants to be your only teacher. So here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you are a sovereign, solitary practitioner, witch, occultist, spiritualist. It doesn't matter if you are meant to initiate and be a part of a coven, a soyasete, an ile, a congregation. It doesn't matter if you are going to practice by yourself. It doesn't matter if you're going to practice with other people, okay? You're going to have more than one teacher. You're going to have a lot of teachers. And these teachers are going to span every single aspect of your life. They're going to look different. They're going to be different. They're going to teach different. They're going to present different. Beware of the teachers who want to take front and center in your life and to X out all other teachers. Beware of the teachers who discount the teaching of other teachers. Beware of the teachers who proclaim themselves as your one and only. Beware. If you find yourself engaging with a teacher who discourages you learning from other teachers, you might be in a little bit of danger. If you find yourself learning under a teacher who doesn't respect, who doesn't have their own teachers, you might be in danger. Beware of the teachers who do not encourage you to find teachers in other aspects for all aspects of your life, okay? If you find yourself under a teacher who positions themselves as your one all be all, baby, run. 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 Run far and run as fast as you possibly can, okay? No one teacher is going to fulfill every one of your needs. No one guru is going to fulfill every one of your needs. No one person, no one guide is going to fulfill every one of your needs, okay? And good teachers know this. Good teachers understand this. Good teachers cultivate this. Good teachers don't mind this. Good teachers encourage this. Good teachers teach, and they teach well, and they teach and they stay within their lanes, and they're not worried about what another teacher is doing unless another teacher is being disrespectful or particularly abusive to their students, okay? So good teachers aren't offended when their students have other teachers. Good teachers aren't offended when their students, when their proteges have other guides, when they have other gurus. Good teachers understand that they have an expertise in this particular aspect, in this particular skill set, in this particular knowledge set. But they also understand that the students that come to them are full people, and they will need to be guided in different ways, in different capacities, and in different aspects of their life by different teachers. Beware of the teacher. Beware of the guru, the guide. Beware of the leader who positions themselves as your one all be all, cause ain't nobody anybody's one all be all. What's up, y'all? I'm back, and it has been an absolutely full day. So picked up a plant today in the name of my self-care. Got myself some flowers in the name of my spiritual self-care. Picked up a Nina Simone inspired art piece from the donation space. I donated some really good things, and then I got to purchase something really good. I actually picked up a candle for my spiritual practice, and then I picked up some offerings for the deities that I serve to be able to do my ritual tonight. So today has been a really good day. It's been a really good day, and now I'm headed in to do a panel discussion. But before I do that, let's get into this last tip and trick in regards to choosing the right spiritual guru, guide, leader for you. So my last tip and trick is, or piece of advice is, be aware of the controversy and chaos that surrounds your spiritual teacher, guru, and guide. What I'm going to say is this. The more influential, the more popular a spiritual, the more well-known a spiritual guru and guide is, please know that there's a lot of really good things are going to follow them as far as their reputation, especially if they're cultivating a really good reputation, especially if they are actively seeking to be good people, good leaders, good gurus, good guides. You're going to find a really stellar, amazing, reputation that surrounds them. But every teacher, doesn't matter how good they are, doesn't matter how charismatic they are, it doesn't matter how amazing, how loving, how wonderful they are, has got a bit of controversy or chaos that surrounds them, okay? So this should not discourage you to be a part of or to follow someone if they've got a bit of controversy or chaos, but what you should do is pay attention to what types of controversy and chaos follows these people. So a lot of my teachers, a lot of my gurus and my guides, the controversy and the chaos that follows them is controversy and chaos that comes with being someone who is outspoken, being someone who is marginalized. So my gurus, my guides are gay, lesbian, queer. They are black, they are indigenous, they are femmes, they are non-men, they are non-binary people, they are trans people. They are people who are rowdy, and they go against the colonial status quo, okay? So these people, my gurus, my guides, my teachers, tend to be people who are very outspoken. They are very strong in their opinions, and their opinions and the way that they express themselves do not align with Western society's acceptable ways of being. So I understand this, I know this, and actually that kind of controversy and chaos doesn't deter me. It actually lets me know who they are. Most strong leaders are going to have a bit of controversy and chaos, not only because they are strong personalities, but because they're human, okay? Sometimes your favorite leaders, your favorite folks you follow simply have a lot of controversy and chaos because they are controversial people, because they're human, because outside of their power and their prowess and the things that they know and the great things about them, they might have some really crazy aspects about them, or some really wild aspects about them, or some really unhealed or unchecked aspects about them that influence, or what's the word that I'm looking for? I guess influence, or like they influence their reputation. That's not the exact word I'm looking for, but we're gonna go with that for now. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So be aware of that. Be aware, and don't discount that. Don't discount the controversies and the chaos that surrounds your leaders. This will tell you who they are. Sometimes we follow leaders, gurus, and guides who have the controversy of being fatphobic. They have a reputation of being fatphobic, or they have a reputation of being misogynistic, or being very racist, or being very sexist, or being a womanizer, or being someone who is an abuser. It's important to look at and pay attention to the controversies and the chaos that surrounds your gurus, guides, and leaders. So what I'm going to say is this: from my experience, the best gurus, guides, and leaders have a little bit of controversy attached to their names here and there, and they're also going to have a little bit of chaos attached to their names here and there. However, they're not going to have a lot. They're not going to have an exorbitant amount of chaos and controversy attached to their names. And also, it's good to see how gurus and guides who have been in controversy, who have been in chaos, deal with that, okay? So, again, I don't want you to absolutely leave a guru and guide because they've gotten into some trouble, or because they have a little bit of controversy around their name, or because they have a little bit of wildness associated with them. That's a part of being human, all right? This doesn't mean that they're not potent as teachers. It doesn't mean they're not potent as gurus and guides. However, if you're dealing with a teacher, a guru, a guide, and you start hearing a lot of accusations in regards to sexual assault, in regards to nefarious behavior that puts their congregation, their soyaset, their ile, their temple, their group in danger, pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. Because these things could save your life. It could save you from a lot of heartbreak. It could save you from a lot of spiritual, emotional, physical abuse. It could save you. So just pay attention to it. Again, gurus and guides, spiritual leaders and spiritual teachers aren't supposed to be scot-free. They are human. They are supposed to be elevated. They are supposed to be connected. They are supposed to be spiritually minded. They are supposed to hold themselves to a higher standard than other people hold themselves to. However, they're not exempt from making mistakes. We're not exempt from doing messed up things. We're not exempt from, dealing with our own issues. We are humans. We are humans who have come in here and answered our calling. And some of us have traumatic backgrounds. Some of us have a lot of mental health issues. Some of us have a lot of things to deal with because we're human, and we are humans who choose to answer a calling to go towards and walk towards spiritual elevation and enlightenment. We should be held accountable, and we should be held to a high standard, but also we never need to be separated from our humanity. The last tip, I guess, that I'm always going to uplift is treat yourself, and treat your gurus and guides, your teachers, your leaders with full humanity, okay? Honor your own humanity. Honor your own humanity. Honor the fact that you contain multitudes, that you were good, bad, ugly, and all the things in between. Honor this in your spiritual guides, gurus, teachers, and leaders. They are perfectly flawed. Okay, they are fallible, all right? They are human, and they're going to make mistakes. The best teachers, the best gurus, the best guides are going to hold space for their own humanity. They're going to allow themselves to be challenged. They're going to allow themselves to be corrected. They're going to allow themselves to be challenged and corrected. Bad leaders, not so great leaders, leaders who are hell-bent on or more focused on their ego rather than your growth, they're not going to be able to be challenged. They're not going to be able to be called to the paint in regards to the bad things that they do. All right, so that's that. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notifications bell so you can keep up with all these here shenanigans. Let me know in the comments what your experience has been with a good teacher, guru, and guide. If this connected with you at all, let me know what points that really connected with you in this video. And also, let me know what good things that if you've encountered good teachers, if you had good gurus, spirit guides, leaders, let me know what things worked for you. And also, if these things resonated, if you've encountered the opposite of these tips, let me know that in the comments as well. So I love you dearly. Make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you attend to your self-care. Just in case no one has told you today, you are absolutely valuable. You are amazing. And thank you so much for surviving everything that you have survived. So I'm going to see you in the next video. Mwah! Peace.